So we're just looking at the documentation of React and just revising the concept here and there. And let's see how it goes. And let me hide this, okay, for now. And let's see how it goes, okay. I'm just live streaming it so that it will be documented for later on. And, looking at JSX, so concept is clear. And it's neither the funny tag syntax is neither a string nor HTML. It's on its own, and basically what it does is it's an it's a representation of data in UI. So it's not HTML, it's not JavaScript, it's called JSX. So this is JSX format. And I have a question: is JSX only for React? That was my question. Yes, not required for using that. Using that because this is specific. I mean, is JSX uh, from origin only for my bad? I think that's my question actually. I mean, we can use JSX in TypeScript. Is JSX using React? Not if it's just only for React. That is the question. Yes. Right, HTML code with JavaScript using with other framework like the support for React is SEO consideration organization is server side rendering. If you use framework like Next.js, which is built on React, that's server side rendering, you can render JSX on server. Search engine can crawl the fully rendered HTML, which is beneficial for SEO. Can crawl the fully rendered HTML, which is beneficial. Okay. Client side rendering. Obviously, most of the React code that we write is client side rendering, and JSX is if you render JSX only in the client side, as is the standard type, which also may have difficulty indexing the content. Okay, on the piece of SEO, this kind of SEO challenge is static site generation. I mean, content is pre-render, which is okay, good for SEO, right? Since value is with React, is not limited to SEO, the rendering method matters more than JSX itself. I mean, yeah, focus on SEO, considering source identity, study that then ensure that the content is easily accessible to source engine. Okay, I got it. From the SEO perspective, it's the only form of something that has existed for many years and very late to the game. Okay, that is my question actually. Is JSX only origin for React or what? How is it? How how who origined it and how it is used in the technical space. So back in the day before JavaScript got researched together, depending on who you ask, we were using MX XML for our web application look a lot like JSX, even with binding look the same. Here's pop-up from an application until over the so just looks a bit dated because this time. Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm really having a bad cough. So let me mute my mic for a while, okay? Or fuck it, who cares, right? Okay, let's do it. This user written pretty much like React application. Actually, it's a Flash app. As a web application, big chess. So from here, it means that JSX is an XML-like extension to be Java to the JavaScript language syntax. JavaScript syntax extension. That's the full form. JSX JavaScript XML created by Facebook for you use with React has been added by multiple web framework, syntactic super, transpiled into nested actually function calls, into the original JSX. Okay, I got it. This means JSX was originally, developed for using it with React. So I that it answers my question, right? And conditional expression we all know. But JavaScript for XML for JavaScript, that's the purpose. And I don't know much about XML, so let's just look at about XML also. Okay, so XML Wikipedia. Let's go to XML wiki, right? And let's just see why React is using XML like the XML with the help of JSX. Let's do that. It's a markup language, file format for storing, transferring, reconstructing data. I know somehow that XML represents format of today's JSON, but I might be wrong. Let's just look into it. Some XML code and XML examples, right? Not ML, but XML. People are looking at ML, but we are just looking at XML for now. So parsing XML, there is a whole tutorial in W3 school about XML, so extensive markup language designed to store and transfer data, and obviously, so JSX is somewhat similar to we need JavaScript here, so that's what JSX is all about. This is XML example one. For example, someone will define a certain component called note, and someone will define a certain component called food. But if we keep JavaScript there, then it's JSX. That's so easy. So that's what XML is. XML plays important role in many different systems. Okay, so XML is for why do we need XML? Why study XML? To have good understanding of XML. Okay, let's how to use all those things about XML. Okay, does not do anything. A little hard to understand, but XML does not do anything. Notice okay, stores it's just a form to store some data maybe. And difference between design by display data is designed to carry data, so somewhat like JSON, right? So XML is extensible. And mm, let's just see some few more things, right? And how to use XML separates data from presentation is often complement to separates data from HTML. Obviously, book storage, XML, books category, web power. So all these things are way to carry data. XML news is here, right? So byline, all those things. XML weather service is here, location, pressure, and XML tree is also there, and XML document. XML tree structure is the root, child, subchild, self-describing XML are there. Are prologue defines the XML version and the character encoding. It is a self-describing syntax, right? So four elements, all those things are there. XML syntax is similar. We have a root element, must have a root element, child, subchild, all these things, right? So XML root element, child, these are all the childs. XML prologue means line is called XML prologue, is optional. Is encoding and storing. So it just represents all kind of encoding for XML document, and must have a closing tag, and value must be quoted, and all these things are XML elements, right? And an element can contain text and all those other attributes we can see here, right? And best naming practices, I mean, XML validated DDT document type definition is also there. So document node system node.dbt, and it's a node. So all these concepts are used to develop JSX. So people like the XML, and people like JavaScript. Why not combine both of these? And so React engineers did that early on the phase of developing React. And DOM. There is a concept of XML DOM. Accessing and manipulating XML documents, it represents XML document as a tree structure. Okay, HTML DOM is this. This is the HTML DOM. This is the XML DOM, right? And I mean, yeah, I expected it. There should be some sort of a JavaScript in this code. So obviously, so this is the JavaScript in the code. Style nodes and by tag. child node value XML doc. We are just updating the XML doc, XML DOM. I mean, right? So all these things are there. XML query or querying XML. So uh, we are not going too much into these concepts because we are not using these concepts in React, but just to know why JSX, just to study more about JSX, we are just coming back to XML, XML DOM, all these things, XQuery. And if you want to know more about XML, then it's here. XML Ajax is here, right? So all these concepts were there to in the maybe React was developed based upon these concepts. I haven't seen the React code, but yeah, I think this might be the inspiration for that. And DOM get value change nodes. Let's just skim at these concepts, right? So we didn't understanding React, or let's say studying React, we never went, or let's say check these concepts. But at this time of preparing for interviews, we will be looking at these concepts because just to understand things from all perspective. And RSS document example. Okay, yes. RSS is written in XML actually, and selected data site deliver new orders to RSS feed, secure site faster access aggregator. Okay, so this RSS news site companies. Okay, benefits of RSS, history of RSS, versions of layers, how RSS works, out of the RSS document.xml extension. And your website. Okay, I got it. RSS example. This is title, link description, item, link description, item, link description. Okay, first line in the document, and I think it's saved as .rss. Maybe not. It's XML document, so it should be saved as .xml. But maybe there are some other mechanism to pass this data to. I mean, uh, okay, so there is an RSS first line closes the channel, and then it's inside data, RSS. So I got it RSS. Okay, so this is the RSS document, and it's a kind of XML. Also, there is XML SOAP, Symbol Object Access Protocol. Before using JSON, we used to use SOAP, and it's an envelope, SOAP header, SOAP body, SOAP envelope. Okay, and just the way to pass messages, and in SOAP encoding style is SOAP encoding and SOAP envelope. We won't be looking at the SOAP encoding, but you just understand how it works. And so later on, JSON came and you know must understand that attribute. Um, Replace all these things, web services. Okay, let's just go from you know l- XML is a really interesting topic, right? So I mean, why not just copy it, save it in our Discord, baby, and check later on, or also I will be sending, or I will be making it public in after this live stream is over. But for now, I'm just copying and pasting it here. So XML, we are coming, from beginning. We know it had some sort of encoding, and we know it's a component kind of um, data representation, right? So, and good understanding of XML and important XML standards are the XML standards that we just saw. These XML services, XML schema, XML DOM, XML XPath. Okay, and a simple tutorial example of XML is stores and transport data, human and machine readable. I mean, let's just look at the Wikipedia article for XML, because these are super technical and super tooly, but this is more of a concept for XML. Let's not cover more about XML, but yeah, for just for few minutes, we will be looking at XML. And internet media type for XML is application slash XML, right? So it's a magic number, markup language, just like HTML, hypertext markup language, and XML is serialization, storing, transmitting, reconstructing arbitrary data for two disparate systems to exchange information. File format XML, and this procedure for also lingua franca. Okay, just how things are represented, right? So text slash XML, application slash XML, DTT, application slash XML, and all those things are here. And XML been developed. Hundreds of document format using XML syntax have been developed. For example, RSS, Atom, Office, Open XML, Open Document, SBG, Collard, XSTML. All these things are XML, and provides the base language for communication protocol. For example, SOAP and XMPP, and also message exchange format using AJAX. That's a programming technique, and also these are the application of XML. Many interesting data standards such as have level and all these things are, XML was really big thing in tech, prior, but after JSON, everything changed. But also we require XML to understand. So, and these are the, yeah. So RSS is one of the, document format that uses XML syntax. That's how we understand XML, right? So, and simply, if you want to understand more about RSS, then we already saw that in our previous uh, pages. But yeah, encoding detection, all these things are here, and international use also is there for XML schemas and validations. Being well for XML, maybe validation. This is continuous document type definition, and document type definition inherited from SGML, and you know schema, newer schema language discovered W3C and successful DDT is XML schema, and often referred as the initialism for XML schema instances. Data timing system allows more detailed construction of XML logic. Okay, maybe all these things are not necessary, but I think I kind of got concept about XML, in what XML is, and how things were being developed using XML. And all these standards are there, and all these things about XML are there, and maybe it's good way to learn what is how to use XML. Separate data from HTML, data from presentation often complement to HTML, and transaction data is here. So XML news, for example, if I want to XML news is specific for XML news and other information. For example, if I'm passing XML news, the tag is set. NITF is the opening and closing tag for XML news. Someone might define it that way, an XML news document, and maybe you just listen for it, and someone is publishing XML document to the internet, and you subscribe to it, and you will get that news on daily basis. Maybe I'm not sure about that, but something like that, right? So you just uh, filter your subscription on the basis of this tag, and you will get those news. For example, XML weather service is there. Service from NOAA, National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, will current observation and close current observation. This is the weather service, and that is written in XML. So maybe we got a small idea about it, right? So root element, text, right? So parent child root element, right? So display viewing XML files. Okay, and XPath, what's XPath? X pointer, XPath, X link, and using XSLT, XPath example. I'm not sure about XPath example, but XPath expression bookstore slash book. Maybe I'm not sure about it. Okay, so these are the serial of the title that I will name rank, and bookstore slash book last. That is the child. Okay, XPath, XQuery. Okay, there is for XML. I didn't know that. I think we're too much into the topic of XML. I mean, while learning React, in my case also, React was not that popular at first. Later on, it became popular. And I used to learn more, I used to make some apps on Ajax. I do that, and yeah. So XML HTTP request is for making you know the side effects. Just works as fetch and XML HTTP. It says HTTP request, right? So and on ready state change, ready state, all these things are Ajax concept. Ajax has its own Ajax.open get open and send methods like XML HTTP request object get or post get request. All these things are in Ajax. Ajax response also is there. But we are learning this under XML, so um, I'm not sure where XML is being used here, but yeah, maybe response is coming in the form of XML. We can see that. And okay, so XML DOM is there. DOM, what is DOM? HTML DOM and XML DOM. So XML DOM is standard object model for XML, drawing device for XML. You get the manual connection. So we are not going that much in XML for now. XML, we just knew all these XML services, right? So RDF, RSS, WSDL is also web service description language, and and so for simple object access protocol, so building blocks, syntax, all these things are here. And we won't be looking that much about XML, but we just knew that JSX was made uh, just for React and just to use XML kind of concept, integrating JavaScript, and that was the foundation for React. That's what we are sure about, right? So for that, this whole 20-minute discussion we need right now, and so just to cover up that, and I mean, yeah, let's just move forward now. SX is expression to specify attributes with JSX. I mean, you can go, you can course to specify string literal size attributes, right? And prevents injection attacks. These are prevent access cross-site scripting attacks. Okay, using DOM escapes any values embedded in JSS before rendering them. So I mean, this is really a nice concept. JSX prevents injection attacks. It is safe to embed user inputs in JSX. Okay, this is safe. Title is directly embeddable in JSX. By default, React DOM escapes any value embedded in JSX before entering them. You can never use anything that's not actually written in your location. Convert it to syntax viewer and render this algorithm accesses cross-site scripting. Let's just look into some spend some minutes on accesses also. Represents objects. Okay, I got it, but escapes any value. What do you mean by escapes, right? So React DOM escapes any value embedded in JSX, and who does it prevent accesses attack? How does JSX prevents accesses? That's the concept. JSX prevents injection attacks. Understanding real accesses prevents and this. Okay, let's just look into it. What does it mean when you say accesses? Okay, okay, let's just look into it. Right. This question was asked 9 years ago, freaking 9 years ago, right? So React.js is quite safe, I didn't since string variable is viewed as escaped automatically. What does that mean? What's escaped, right? So which can need to be escaped in HTML as they are they the same as XML. Okay, I've seen usually some HTML escape character, but I don't think they must be escaped. I want to see what needs to be escaped. What's escaped actually? If you are inserting text content into a document in a location where text content is expected, you typically only need to escape the same character as you would in XML. Inside of an element, this just includes the entity escape ampersand and the element delimited less than and greater than sign. Okay. Becomes ampersand, becomes less than, becomes greater than. Instead of attribute value must also escape the code. Okay, and escaping means just representing it okay, as you would in XML. I mean encoding, right? Yeah. In some cases, if you are safe to skip some of these characters, but I encourage you to skip all five of the cases to use the character. That's making a mistake. If your document encoding does not support all of the character, then you are using, such as if you are trying to using emoji and ASCII. Most document these days are encoded using the fully Unicode supporting UFT, UTF-8 encoding, where this won't be necessary. In general, use will be skips as spaces as NBSP. NBSP is not a normal space; it's a non-breaking space. Okay, non-breaking space. You can use this instead of normal space to prevent a line break from being inserted. Words are without being automatical collapse, what is using a rare case, done unless you have a design constant that requires its bilocation where text only is expected. I mean, inside of a limit or quote attribute value where normal passing rules apply, for example, here or here, what I wrote about does not apply to content that has especially parsing rules of meaning, such as inside of a script or stat, or as an element or attribute name, for example, script. Okay. In this context, the rules are more complicated and it's easier to introduce a security vulnerability. And I strongly discourage you from ever inserting dynamic content in any of these locations. I have seen teams of component security of developers introduce vulnerabilities by assuming that they had encoded these values correctly, but missing an edge case. There's usually several alternatives for putting the dynamic value in an attribute and then handling it with JavaScript. We must prevent the open web application security projects prevention rule. Okay, we can for a few minutes. Like it's really important concept. So why not? Document body. Okay. Basically, there's a three main character. Question is which character needs to. Okay, I got about which character needs to be skipped and about skipping, right? And cross-site scripting prevention and in React JS. Okay, how? Why? Hmm, why even care? String variable in views are skipped automatically. I mean, skip is auto skip, right? So with JS occupies a function as the event handler rather than a string that can contain malicious code. You can pass a function as an event handler rather than a string that can contain. Obviously, hacker can send a malicious code in place of function. So a typical attack like this will not work. For example, username is on error or got hacked. Okay, that and in that hello username. If I send this React warning, there are some issues that you need to handle this in React. You mean this won't work? This one you mean I mean a lot will not be populated, right? So it should it should send us an image with a lot, but it won't work because it escaped automatically. It react by design, right? But XSS we are dangerously set inner HTML. If I do this, if I run code, the result will be hacked. So this alert will come. And this is because of dangerously set inner HTML, and this way, you know, accesses, injection attacks can be done. Accesses is not protected by default if you use dangerously set inner HTML in React. So that is what we are understanding here. When you use dangerously set inner HTML, you need to make sure that content doesn't contain in JavaScript. React can do here anything for you, like in any code. For example, in your code. So what I suggest is in your code, if some developer are just using React by just setting dangerously set inner HTML in their div and sending some JavaScript, then it's not escaped and React doesn't work here. So that this is really, it's a security vulnerability that we have to check in our code. XSS via a.ref attribute also. For example, and using JavaScript code in this case, for example, JavaScript alert hacked user website. If I run this aref in, I think this this won't work because it escaped, right? So alert won't come. But using a base64 encoded data, for example, uh, aref URL, right? Aref URL, and my URL is dot replace, and run code snippet. This is the base 64 encoded data, and directly if I use this user website dot replace, and if I do run code snippet, my website, it's I mean it's hacked. Basically what it does is, for now it's just like showing me the alert, just showing me the alert hack. But uh, I mean, if I use base 64 encoded data in React this way, if I do a replace, uh, this is a fucking tense situation right now. I didn't knew about it, so right now I know about it. Accesses via attacker controlled props also. Accesses can be done with attacker controlled prop. For example, in React, custom props controlled by attacker, right? For example, and there is an attacker has a custom prop dangerously set in an HTML in the JSON, right? It's just a JSON. It's just a prop. It's nothing. Like I won't know about dangerously. It's like in my React code, I haven't written any dangerously set in an HTML. I'm just passing this prop, and attacker is sending this prop, right? So and but it div, if I am if I inserting all this prop in my div, then HTML image divider, run the code snippet, hacked. Fuck. Shit. I mean, this is still hard. Like to avoid this, it's a bit hard. I think this is also even harder. And maybe there are some ways but by design React is really safe. By design, if someone wants to send some JavaScript code in inside JSX, then it's kept at by design it's safe. But yeah, there are methods in which accesses attacks can be done. Control props, one of the examples is there are so many resources, and I think we need to copy this in our Discord channel also, because we need to learn all these concepts later on when we are giving interviews. Someone might ask us about what's your thought about security in React application. And I might tell that X by design is really good. I mean, it's kept, and even if you send some malicious JavaScript code in JSX, it will skip it and it won't work. But sometimes XSS injections can be done. Uh, Dangerously set inner HTML is one of them. We should not be using that, right? So nobody use that. You should use that. And another is controlled props. And I might pass dangerously set inner HTML as JSON in my props in React testing. React and my div can insert it directly into it. I should make sure that no props will be inserted directly into div, right? So another is that. Another one is uh maybe I forgot. I should not, just remember. I'm just for looking it for concept. So yeah, base 64 encoded data is also there. So directly, I might send base 64, encoded data, and React will obviously escape it to understandable format, and I mean just replace this with JavaScript, and boom, yeah, you are running malicious JavaScript in your HTML. So okay, so all these concepts are here. Fantastic topic, fantastic answer. I will give upvote for this one, but I haven't signed signed in on it. So let's skip it for now. So that's the concept called React.js, XSS guide, example, prevention, all these things are here. We are not looking into XSS attacks for now, but React security uh, and all these things are covered. So image dynamically in React, and let's just give that much for now, and let's just move forward. Cross-site scripting and JavaScript, JS prevents injection. Like we knew, like from far, like because it skips everything. So that's why. And JSX represents objects. Like this JSX is also represented in this format of object, and uh, under the hood we are calling React.create element. That's what we are doing. We should understand that. And maybe I think that much for JSX for now. So we are just into React.dev. It's been 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we understood about JSX, about XML, about XSS attacks, all these things in just one scroll. Like if you go more into topics and just dig down into it, then you will know a lot of things. That's what we are doing for now. Now, as we know, JSX is being used, and as we know, interactivity in React is done with the help of states, and use state is one of those React hooks that we use to, you know, to introduce the concept of state, or let's say interactivity in the React. And okay, video list is here. I mean, these are really like concept that we all know, but by design, there is some sort of props here. We are just using filter videos functions, passing the source text and videos to filter videos. Found videos is shown in our UI. That's what it's doing. Full stack with the framework, it says. And the concept of slog, we will be looking into it in other other instances of our video. But and let me just okay. So I'm sorry, guys. I had a call just like that. That's all. I mean, React is. I mean, it's really you know super power. Like it's super powerful, and it's used in mobile platforms, IoT platforms, applications, right? So we are not going into that also. Basically, what we are doing in our upcoming videos is we are just learning about React. And we will be having all these concepts revised for us, and also new concepts that is coming in React. You know, Newer Reacts, for example, 19 React. We'll be also looking into those concepts later on. But yeah, and that's the thing. Quick start is here, installation is here, and describing the UI, all these things are here. Interactivity, how we are adding interactivity in React is a managing state, how we are managing even escape hatches are all these things are there. But first, let's go to quick start and nesting components. I mean, and this is not a course or anything. I'm just revising, and you guys are just following with me. That's all. It's not a course or a tutorial or anything like that, right? So writing markups with CSX, we know somewhat about that. Adding styles to React is like just giving it a class name and boom, it's done. Displaying data is really simple object in the form of object, represented in the form of object. That's why also it's an object, user.name, user.image, all these things are in this way, data are represented in style. Just is called conditional rendering. I mean, yeah, and all these things. Like, but this is really easy. We don't need if, else, or all these things. And is okay. If else, like, otherwise, none. That's the concept here. You can use a sort of logic and syntax. And rendering list, it should be a unique key, otherwise it will send us an error. And that's what it is. Responding to events. Okay. I mean, this is a really nice, important concept in React now we are looking at. So there will be multiple buttons, and you know, count should be incremented in all those buttons, right? Because it shares the state. And how to make sure that for that we need to in place of value in any kind of sort of expression, or let's say any sort of placeholder, we need to give state, and it will work. Yeah, and my button will be represented in this code. Count is the one, and also the handler for that buttons will be same, right? On click count times. That's what my button component will do, and this way set count is done, and button is also. And if I want to do these both states are, handler and count must be there. Like the function of this bottom component is to update the count, as well as to update the count, and also to represent the count, right? So that's why uh, you know given component will have two props. One is to update the count, another is the handler to update that count. One is the view for the count, so that's the count variable. And yeah, that's it. And maybe we will be looking to tic tac toe. Maybe in our next video, right? Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. That's how we are doing live streaming for our next React engineering role in review. Preparation is being done in this way, just to show you guys how things are being worked on. And thank you.